Hello there and welcome. This is going to be a short little video, just sort of a tester really, to see how long one of these takes, a full run through of a game. Also to see if people would like me to do this for more games, because I'm up for doing this for every one of my games, or if people really want it I could do it for game in 2B, or even at a stretch I could do it for every game in the league if I really have enough time, but I doubt that because actually no, I have a lot of time on my hands. Anyway, let's get into the match. So Halfling Master Chef took a reroll right at the start. That's going to become crucially important for the Snotling Starz. As you can see, Captain Jork likes to lead from the back, keep himself safe while the others do the dirty work. We have Snotter on the wing, York, this one, Nork Jr., and that one, Chuckles, and on the very edge we have Mr. Squirrel. On the front row we have Nork, Free SPP, and Fearless. Nork's always the guy who likes to make the tackles, he likes to get in there. On the bench we have Nibbles to second, Stephen the Swift, and Tiniest Ted. And for Rakdos Runaways, we have Barkrag, Vuklord, Ulrich the Gut Muncher, Guskrud, Bob the Lost, Gorth Flesh Splitter, then Tonrux, Doic Master of Pain, Donor, Dulgard, and at the back, Trusted. As you can see, we've already had one KO, unfortunately. That was Free SPP, getting, unfortunately, knocked out. And he's really trying here, but unfortunately he has done... How many blocks is that so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one of which was real, so 6 3-die blocks have been made and have resulted in pushes exclusively. Which really says a lot about how this game's going to go, really, and he's already used his reroll this turn, but fortunately for him he didn't actually need to reroll that one, because he rolled a 4 on there. Now, if there's one thing that Snotlings are quite good at, it is being able to dodge away, as they dodge away on a 2-up here, so this sort of defensive maneuver of just having a line of Snotlings, preventing the slightly worse off Chaos from being able to dodge straight through, it's quite useful in this sort of scenario. As you can see here, we're just getting an assist, so it's only a 2-die uphill block as opposed to a 3-die uphill block. And we get a push and a defender stumbles. We take the push and we'll push him onto the wing, forcing someone to have to blitz Nork off him. As I said at the start, Nork does like to be the guy to make the blocks. And over the course of the game, as a fun fact, all of the Snotling Starz actual blocks were made by Nork. As we can see, he got stunned there, but did force Tuster to run around. Pass to Gorth Flash Splitter. Unfortunately, Gorth Flash Splitter fails the catch, even with the reroll. So now it turns back to the Snotling Starz, and first things first, they're going to make sure that their coverage defensively is in the best possible way it can be. So Mr. Squiggles and Chuckles are going to be dodging out of here on 2-up dodges, and then that one is going to run through, attempt to pick up the ball. He fails the first time, and runs reroll, still fails. The ball bounces to Bob the Lost, who fails the catch on a 5-up, and turnover. So now we've got Rakdos Runaways in charge here, and this could be a very dangerous turn, as we have 2 players in the vicinity here. So the first Snotling decides he's going to move away from the players. Now often I once playing as Snotlings, I do like to move them into the tackle zones of other players, since there's only about a 42% chance they'll actually go down on a 3 dice, so realistically speaking, it's quite often that you will get these triple push scenarios here, or some equivalent function. Making sure we've got a tackle zone on the ball there to prevent any sort of pickup from being realistically doable. Yet I believe Tonrux may end up attempting the pickup anyway. He rolls us 1, and the ball only goes into one opposing Chaos Warrior's tackle zone. Having to use the dodge there in order to prevent that 1 from causing a turnover. And here, if we look at the way that the tackle zones work out here, it's ensuring that there will definitely be some sort of dodge, or at least a blitz, in order to get through this defensive line. The first dodge made sure that we stopped there before we attempted it, because it's a shorter route if we dodge through there. But here's where it gets really interesting, because the Beastman has actually rolled a 6 and intercepted the ball there. That was, I believe that was Tufter, who is the main ball carrier for these Rakdos Runaways. Nork Jr. going down, unfortunately, and unfortunately dying in the process. That was a sad time for all. I know Nork was very angry, and he made sure to punch someone in order to get his own back for that one. Fearless also going down, getting injured. This was a bad turn for the Snotling Starz, as Rakdos Runaways really managed to get off two rather easy blocks off there. And here we're seeing this constant line of Chaos Beastmen and Warriors moving forwards with the Snotlings in order to try and mark them. But unfortunately, as Graham said in Smash of the Day this week, the Snotling Starz they are very slippery. Even if you have something like Dwarves with tackle and block, they can still be quite annoying. So for this Chaos team with no abilities besides horns on the Beastmen, it is incredibly difficult for them to keep these players down, which allows me to just utilize this sort of very simple defense here. Nork, while he does have a heart for vengeance now and is clearly very angry and wanted to knock the block off of Tuster, unfortunately he fails the dodge in and fails it after the dodge reroll as well, causing a turnover to Rakdos Runaways, where they do the same attacking maneuver of just trying to force this line of Snotlings a space back. And now they're going to go for a handoff. Unfortunately, Bob the Lost, being a Chaos Warrior, once again, he doesn't know what a ball is, unfortunately. He also doesn't know quite why he's there. He's quite lost. Mr. Squiggle's dodging out, Chuckles, Captain York, this one, that one. Oh, sorry, this one, York, and Snotter. That one is somewhere over here. Yeah, there we go. They're all dodging out. Yep, well, let's just wait for Snotter. Come on, Snotter. There you go. In a discussion earlier yesterday about who has the best startup, who has the best activating noise, and we all agreed that it was the Amazons. Second up is definitely the Noblars / Goblin sound effects. Again, a triple push here. The pickup on a 6, just going to show that indeed 6s can be rolled in this game. Now, interesting choice with the blocking dice here, choosing not to go for the both down and instead going for the push, pushing me slightly closer towards that touchdown zone. This touchdown was very fortunate to get that pickup, and I have to say that this Chaos team, the Rakdos Runaways, are at this point in the game getting quite horribly diced after that encounter. However, it will, yeah, they'll keep on getting dice. Here we've got to do a go for it, which is the only worrying part about that, but fortunately you can trust that one to get it done. And so that one puts us 1-0 ahead going into half-time. Here we have the beautiful Orcish cheerleaders. Definitively my favourite type of cheerleader, because, you know, the orcs. Free SPP woke up after the KO. That's very important for the team. He's a valued member of the team. And Tiny's Ted, we're keeping him on the bench after being reincarnated from a Kislev warrior. It is kind of, we're uncertain as to how well he's going to fit into the team. Fortunately, that bribe will definitely fit into the team and everything we like. Not got knocked out of the way. That would have been awful if it hadn't have been a KO right there, because that would have prevented us from being able to run straight through. However, it really doesn't matter at this point, because we've only got one turn, and the ability for our team to actually do a one-turn touchdown is pretty much non-existent. Nibbles the second, surviving, unlike Nibbles the first, who I'm sure we can all remember from Tabletop Sad Day, in which that double armor down, niggle injury player, Snotling, got brutally injured. The Chaos Warrior going for the both down here against, I believe that might have been Snotter by the looks of it. No, it was Chuckles. Where's Snotter going? Is he ever on the other wing? Yeah, Snotter's on the other wing. Should have known. Now, we've just got a bribe, and this Chaos Warrior is down, so that means only one thing can be done here, and that is definitively that we are going to foul this Chaos Warrior. So Captain Jork opting to do the business himself. Yeah, a really noble leader that we should all follow. Unfortunately, just shy of the 5-up that was required with that 3. And then a nice glory pass for Nibbles II. Rerolled. Once again inaccurate. Unfortunately fumbling not onto one of our players. The pass was intended for Captain Jork, but it just wasn't on target. Going into half-time, we get Nork back. He's a crucial member of this team. And we also get one of Rakdos Runaways rerolls for the Snotling Starz. This is the other main player of our team, the Halfling Master Chef. Now as we go into the second half, this second half ended up being more rolls than the first one, as you can tell by the timer at the bottom here. And Knuffles Altar didn't really come into play in this match. However, later on in the season, going into teams with less inducements between us, this will come into play quite a lot with the Snotling Starz playstyle, as despite not being able to field any ogres, we have no objections to hiring them as star players. For example, one of my favourite ones is I've forgotten his name. Anyway, quick snap, all of the Snotling Starz players get to move one space. And they all move one space. And this guy also ran across, and this guy also ran across. Anyway, so Stephen the Swift in this one, making sure we're marking the ball and this pass here, because we don't want to lose the ball here. Now we're going to have to go for a passing action, so what we're going to do is we're going to run him across there, because the pass is going to have to come from here all the way to there, and we don't want him to lose it. But fortunately he made the pass, but the catch was unfortunately missed. First time had to re-roll, but it was caught. That one with the ball, he's already got one touchdown this match, so we opted to pass to him because of his, well, expertise in the field of scoring at this point. And York and Chuckles are going to have to make sure that he doesn't get brutally injured, like the last Snotling who had a ball did. Okay, Mr. Squiggles, interestingly opting for a more defensive stance to try and just force Guskrud to utilise a block against him instead of being able to dodge through and blitz. And he moved himself into a nice position, preventing the blitz from this angle, preventing movement into these two squares here, particularly this one. Now's about the point in the match where the Rakdos Runaways coach noticed that because of Titchy, he can dodge into any of my tackle zones on a 3, no matter what. So he's mocked York, Chuckles, and Nork over here in preparation in order to try and blitz that one. Now this one, Tiny's Ted, Captain York, Stephen the Swift, Free SPP and Snotter are all getting marked here, and the 3-up dodge, despite being quite a, I'd say that's a safe roll, it unfortunately did fail. Block was very fortunate that it worked. That one's armor got broken, got KO'd, unfortunately, and I believe that might actually be the end of that one for this match. But so what we've got here is we've got all the players attempting to dodge out, just to ensure that really they can remain on the pitch at a later date. This one though, he wants a different approach. He wants to stay here in order to make sure that Gorth Flesh Splitter and Dunor remain marked. This is York here going for a handoff to Nork. Nork, he's good at hitting things, but he's not that great at ball handling, and he drops the ball unfortunately, which means that a lot of these guys are going to get punched. Mr. Squiggles, Chuckles, and Nork are all in tackle zones. But that there was a forced reroll, meaning that Rakdos Runaways are out of rerolls for the entire half. Nork decides to go onto the ball. He figures, well, if I can't handle the ball myself, I'll just make sure no one else can. And it bounces into 2 tackle zones. Mr. Squiggles decides he's going to go closer towards the ball. He likes ball handling. But unfortunately he gets stopped just shy. He doesn't get knocked out, he doesn't get injured, however, which is fortunate for a Snotling team. And this one decides he's going to try and force Dunor to make the block there. All work with the Gut Muncher and Tom Rocks marking Captain Jork, Tiniest Ted, and Stephen the Swift over here. Stephen the Swift, a reincarnated Skaven gutter runner, as we all know. Chuckles getting knocked onto the ball over here. And Tuster, the man of the hour, who has been really sort of a one-man team over here. He's been making sure that this team does not lose this match. Chuckles running through here so that we can get 3 different assists on Tuster in an attempt to get a 2-die block. And oh look, who would be making the block but Nork? And Nork knocks down Tuster, as you would expect really from Nork. The ball bounces into a tackle zone. Nork decides he wants the ball for himself. He's got a taste for blood at this point, and he's happy with it. So, oh no, he's going for it twice, and oh, he made it the second time. Yeah, this was because at this point in the game, I was instructing Nork to run to the line because of the fact that if he gets pushed from here, he can just score without any sort of need for anything really. All the players here who were so busy watching over here, they forgot to actually dodge out for a second. But they have done now. And actually, this is quite a nice enclosure because we're actually stopping these four Chaos players from interfering with anything going on over here by just sort of mildly marking them. Dulgard did a triple push there on Snotter, and here we have Nork up against the Chaos Warrior, and however good Nork is at punching people, when you get punched by a Chaos Warrior of Strength 4, you won't really stand much of a chance. But the Chaos Warrior of Strength 4 isn't that great at actually running, and the blade of grass on which Nork fell also took him down as well. Chuckles picks up the ball nicely, decides he's going to score. Good on you, Chuckles. Okay, it's 2-0 to the Snotling Starz over Rakdos Runaways. At this point, Rakdos Runaways, you've got to feel for them. They've had some pretty bad dice rolls across this match. Nuffle is not smiling upon them today, and the Snotling Starz, rightfully so, getting Nuffle's love. Snotling Starz setting up again. They're deciding they're going to go with the same formation they have defensively so far in the match, with 3 SPP, Nork, and Stephen the Swift up at the front, followed by Mr. Squiggles, Chuckles, Nibbles II, Tiniest, Ted, Diswan, York, and Snotter in the lineup, and Captain Jork at the back. The entire Chaos team is pretty much the same. Well, exactly the same. Nork deciding he wants to move up towards the field. He actually got the ball for a second in the past half and decided, in the past drive, and decided, you know what, I want the ball again. Let's move up this way. Stephen Swift, utilising his old Skaven self to dodge that one. Unfortunately, Nork the Mighty was not so great at that whole dodging thing, and just took the brunt of the hit straight to his face. He did survive it, however. Here we have Nibbles II getting pushed. It's at this point that the Chaos team have decided that it is actually useful to blitz this line, because if they can knock enough of a hole through this line, then it becomes sort of a porous defense as they sort of just run straight through the gap. They're opting to block off and ensure that I have to make a lot of dice rolls here, but when they're easy enough dice rolls, it's fine. Stephen the Swift realised at this point that actually, because of the bounce with that ball, he can just run in and pick up the ball at this point. So he figures, you know what, I'm going to do just that. And everyone was too busy watching him that they forgot to dodge everyone out first. So they do that second. Chuckles runs out, Nibbles II escapes from the clutches of Ulrich the Gut Muncher, and York and Snotter equally escape from Dulgard without too much of an injury. I think he got a little bit of a clipped heel there, but he didn't really fall over or whine about it much. Oh, Nork going down, proving once again, while he is good at punching stuff, not that great at running in a straight line. He decides this time he is actually going to dodge the attack and just get pushed back into that space. And Stephen Swift moving forwards again and out of the range of any of the Chaos players. Yeah, the best they can do is mark him with... I don't know what they're currently trying to mark him with, because it's still a 2-die out. Still a 2-up dodge out. Tiniest Ted going down. Fortunate there. But he only gets knocked out. He'll be okay, folks. The entire team is being marked here, but realistically, none of this matters, because as long as we can get that ball across that line, we'll be fine. And that's exactly what we did. Let me just cut back a little bit there. Oh, okay. No, doesn't matter. Snotling's just scored. They dodged out on 2, and I believe it was who was our other ball? It was Stephen the Swift that scored that one. Here we're just ensuring that the Chaos can't do a cheeky 2-turner by just trying to make sure that Dulgard has the worst possible time. If the ball does go out here, it will be a touchback, however, so he's kind of hoping at this point he fails the catch, and it bounces into my half. He does fail the catch, but it stays in his own, unfortunately for the Chaos. At this point, the Snotling team have won the match. There is a way that the Chaos could come back to get a sneaky touchdown, but nothing that would actually cause the outcome to change. Especially when Ulrich the Gut Muncher decides he's going to take himself down with Nork. He's clearly quite mad at Nork for knocking down a Beastman earlier. So at this point we might as well just take the win, but you know, before we take the win, let's just make sure we get the let's just make sure we get a little bit more SPP from this one. So Stephen the Swift decides he's going to run all the way up and then make a little pass here, just to get himself up to 4 SPP. 3 SPP getting knocked around once again. That's a push there. Oh no, that's a push there. 3 SPP getting pushed a little bit. Oh, that's a triple push. That's a push. Yep. 3 SPP getting knocked. He's opting to take these hits right here. He really wants to ensure that the Chaos team here gets at least some free SPP, because that is his entire job on the team. And he finally goes down, 5th hit into the run. He was kind of hoping he'd be able to make one more before the hit, just so that the last guy on the line could do something. Didn't even get hit hard enough to actually get injured. That's quite unfortunate, really. Chuckles taking the hit to the face, and despite broken armor, he is only stunned. That is the end of the match. Prince VP got the MVP of the match for that nice 5 hits that he took at the very end, and that bumped him up to 6 out of 6 SVP, and that's a level up for him. Dat one got 3 SVP, Stephen the Swift got a touchdown and a pass, getting 4 SVP, Chuckles got 3 SVP, Orag got the man of the match for the Rakdos Runaways, Bob the Lost got 1 injury, and Tuster got 2 injury. Oh no, I believe he got an injury and 2 passes across the course of the match.